Baby boy. I'm so happy to be here again. Again!
Bring the energy today. It is Saturday morning.
Yeah, I woke up 30 minutes ago and I am feeling the effects of going to sleep at 2.
What were you doing staying up till 2?
Um, you know, just watching TV, playing video games, crying, doing cartwheels. It was pretty good.
Nice, man. Yeah, I ended up staying up super late. And last night, I ended up going down the rabbit hole of the universe and different things. Usually, not usually, 50-50. So half the time I'll veg and half the time I get really locked in. And I'm trying to turn off my phone early and just meditate or read or self-develop and trying to create that evening routine now.
I know, but you have all that freedom, all that free will to do whatever you want.
I do. But then
What's another
I
hour?
feel groggy in the morning, you know?
It's hard to think for yourself in the future, especially when the feelings you want right now are so strong. That's why diets are hard. Future you will thank you. Present you
Absolutely.
will hate green beans.
Well, we fall into like patterns, addictions, addiction to our thoughts, addiction to our emotions, addiction to our behaviors, right? Human beings naturally, that's kind of how we survived and evolved, is using past experiences to, you know,
I know, and that's the thing too, is you could be having really good days and something so small could ruin it all. Wouldn't you agree?
it used to.
And that's the topic of today's video. Oh, oh,
I
oh.
love how you
Dude,
do
I'm
that,
getting
bro.
so
You're
smooth at
so
it
good
now.
at it.
Jeez.
What is the
I got
topic?
not letting small things ruin our day.
Interesting. And what's your take on it?
I still have a very big problem with this. I think I'm better. I think I'm better. But it's small things that really make me upset, not the big things. You want to know why? You want to know why?
How come?
I think I handle every very, very big situation pretty well, pretty calmly. But the moment I drop my keys on the floor, my keys get snagged by the doorknob, I stub my toe, I trip. Oh, I'm just
Oh, this is
fuming.
good. This is good, man. This
What
is
about you?
good.
What sets you off? What sets
I
you
know
off?
what's going on. What sets me off? Nothing.
Liar. You get upset when I don't hug you or I don't kiss you.
No, not really.
Wow. That's how much you mean to me.
I I used to, if I'm not doing my daily practices, then naturally, we were talking about this last podcast, or
Yeah.
naturally I'm going 1% in the opposite direction. But Mel Robbins created a wonderful book called Let Them. Just let other people be who they are. But what you said is like the small things trigger you and, make it difficult for you to enjoy the day. And how I view that, and this is how I view it and how I've been able to kind of prevent me from falling into those trigger traps is your emotions are like water in a hose. And if we suppress the emotion, there's a kink in the hose and it builds up. And not until these triggers happen does it unkink that hose and all that built up emotion comes out.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right. And so you're really good at handling the big things, but more than likely what's happening is you're suppressing some of that emotion and never coming back to it.
Oh, I
And then
see.
so when you're alone and you're in a safe place and you're triggered, that's when it's like, fuck this. Ah.
Well, then me popping off on the small things is very justified because nobody's feelings are involved, just mine. Oh, my stupid keys. Gah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know, what's an example we can navigate? Because I'm curious of like what's going on.
Well, uh, I'm not too sure. It's just when a bunch of minor inconveniences happen. One example is if I'm planning to do something and something pops up last minute, I think that type of thing really gets to me. While it might be small, uh, my whole flow and rhythm is just ruined. Would you consider that small or a big thing?
It it all depends. You do you prefer structure or being spontaneous?
Structure.
Yeah. So when you fall into this structure and you have things to do and something spontaneous happens that pulls your direction, how do you feel?
I feel pretty anxiety ridden.
Why is that?
I think it has to do with the idea of my day was structured and then out of nowhere I have to summon all these emotions to be spontaneous in a certain situation.
Do you feel like it's a lack of control? Like I don't have
Probably,
control of my day anymore?
probably, probably, yeah. I'd say so. I'd say I've tried to tackle this before, and what I find is that it's just not my thing to be spontaneous. And so every time it does happen, I'm just like, yeah, I don't like that, but I will do it considering the situation type of thing.
Yeah. I mean that's the biggest thing in life is whether we want to be triggered or not too. You know, like we all have triggers. I have triggers. For me, for the longest time I wanted love, unconditional love. I got that,
I
but
got you. Got you.
more than anything it's peace. It's the flow of life that I want. I want to be in the flow, really not being a victim to things that are outside my control. Does that make sense?
It does. It does make sense. I fall victim to it because since I don't overreact or go into a big ruckus in the big things that happen in my life, when the small things happen, I feel I am justified to get upset. And then I can release some of that stress or some of that anger. And that's how I perceive it. Dropping the keys on the floor. Oh, oh fuck. It's the stupid shit too. It's the stupid stuff. And I feel like that's how I stay sort of sane in that sense.
Okay. Does it, once you release that frustration or anger, does it dissipate or does it linger for a while?
Really depends. I want to say most of the time it dissipates
Oh, cool.
just because I don't cry too often. So I assume I don't got too much pent up in me. However, if I get enough pent up in me and I don't release my emotions for a while, I will find that somebody lashing out at me or somebody being very angry at me just sets me off and I start crying. I'm not even angry. I'm just upset. Like I'm just crying. That's happened a couple of times.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes down to the processing emotions. And the wild thing is that most of us haven't processed the majority of our emotions: anger, frustration, resentment, grief, judgment, regret, sadness, all everything, you know. And this is where if we hold a certain if we suppress emotions long enough, it'll turn into depression or anxiety most of the time.
For me, I
Yeah.
definitely think it's anxiety. Anxiety, worried about what's going to happen. What's going on? Why are we spontaneous? What's going on? The
And
fear
what's
of
the
the
topic again?
unknown. Not letting small things ruin our day.
How often do you practice gratitude?
Daily. I say daily.
Because you're really good at that. During some of our conversations, you have mentioned like what you're grateful for, and then you really go down the rabbit hole of gratitude. Right? Like I'm grateful to be here today. I'm grateful to have the ability to have fresh coffee made at home and running water and shelter that protects me from the environment. Do you ever slow down to each one of those and just spend time with one at a time for a long period of time?
No, I don't think I have. I think what happens is I say those things and I already know at face value I am already grateful for them, so I don't peer into them too much. Maybe I should. Maybe I should do that so that I have a deeper understanding of the value of having laundry, having clothes, having a computer set up. I could do this and then talk to the world. and you,
and me.
and me.
I look at it like the result or how much time we're spending doing something. So when you're triggered, how long are you feeling that emotion and ruminating in those thoughts or the emotion and staying there, and how long is that emotion affecting you for? Well, if we look at the opposite, yin and yang, gratitude, appreciation, how long are we being grateful for something and staying in that and feeling it as strong as, the frustration we felt? Most of the time not. We say, yeah, I'm grateful. Okay. Well, what are you grateful for? I'm grateful to be living. Okay. Well, we don't go, well, how does that make you feel? Where do you feel that? Let it grow. Let every cell in your body connect and raise its vibration to gratitude and love. Because when these smaller triggers happen, what you'll notice is if you set your day, if you do this first thing in the morning and last thing at night, you end with gratitude, you wake up with gratitude. It's like a filtration system that you're waking up to, a pair of glasses that you're putting on. And when these triggers happen, all of a sudden you have a different perspective of it,
Yeah.
right? You'll notice that frustration and you'll be reminded that you practice gratitude and you're like, man, wow, I have the ability to bend down right now and pick it up without, having to get out of a wheelchair and spend 5 minutes trying to pick up these keys. It's just how we do one thing is how we do everything. And so if we're not spending enough time on the one thing that we want to be, then we just become a victim to life, and life really affects our emotions.
I'm thankful for my big toe, or else walking would be pretty hard. If
I've
I missed
never
that,
thanked, bro, I've never thanked my big toe. I'm gonna be doing some gratitude on my big
hell yeah,
toes
hell, you
today.
thank that big toe, bruh. You
I
got
will.
strong toes, brother.
Oh, I got strong toes. I can break a twig in half with my toes. I walk barefoot all the time, so my feet are little monkey feet.
That's still crazy to me, but that's a topic for another day.
That is. Yeah, maybe I'll talk about grounding one of these days.
I think you should because I need some better understanding about this.
Okay, I will. I will.
If my feet are touching, if my feet are touching the cotton in my socks, am I not directly touching the earth at which it was bound? Yeah, yeah. You ruminate on that. You think about that.
Yeah, we can go down this rabbit hole today if you
No, no,
want.
no. It's fine. It's fine. Hey, don't let the small things bother you, dude. Jeez,
Yeah.
how
Damn
dare you?
it. All right, I'm getting off.
I'm,
Just kidding.
I'm off. I'm off. Screw this, dude. Well, okay. Now things don't bother you, but back in the day, what were some things that did?
When I came back from Iraq, oh, you know what? One area that still can trigger me sometimes is driving. So I used to have major road rage, and not getting in car accidents, but keeping it internal, right? Not really honking or flipping people off, but inside someone cuts me off and getting angry. I still notice that coming up from time to time. If there's a crazy driver, there's judgment that shows up. And that judgment towards the other person is me wanting that other person to be something they're not, or behavior and changing what they're doing. So that's a trigger for sure. And when that happens, I take a deep breath. I take a calm, deep breath, and I'll turn off the music and I'll connect with that emotion. As I begin to slow my body down, be mindful of how that emotion shows up in my body. And most of the time, it will bring me back to a memory in my life that maybe I haven't processed that emotion tied to that memory, whether it's with my dad or deployment or anger about, something. So it's always connected.
For sure. I also remember when we were in the little concrete shack, how we put like concrete cylinders inside of a hydraulic press, and then after 2 to 3 minutes at a random point, it'll just explode really loud, and that also got to you too. But I also feel like that is very PTSD induced as well.
Yeah, this brings up a really interesting topic because I didn't experience direct combat when I was overseas. So there I go, saying I'll take that out. You got me checking myself too,
No, you don't have
which
to
is
take it out.
wonderful.
People should witness our
I'm gonna,
mistakes
I'm gonna,
to know that we
um.
are growing. Like, like,
Yeah.
right, like, whew, sorry to get that out. That was crazy.
So when I was overseas, I was primarily around brass, which is colonels, generals. I was in the talk, which is all the communication that's managing the campaign overseas. And so I dealt a lot with drones, but also I had this perspective of being aware of VBIDs, vehicle borne IEDs. So a truck full of explosives, driving up and blowing up. So there was always this stressor that I was holding that anytime there was a loud noise or different things, it would trigger that. So it's so interesting being in a combat environment, but never directly being shot at, no explosives. There was like some alarms going off for mortars coming in, but I had never experienced, a traumatic event overseas. But still, I'm triggered by those loud noises. And it's so fascinating to me. At some point, I'll dive deeper into it. Lightning and thunder is a big, or not lightning, but thunder is a big one. Fireworks, thinking that they're gunshots is a big one. These loud, like I jump really easy. And so it's definitely something that I want to explore. And I couldn't imagine people that experience these significant traumatic events overseas and how they deal with it. And this is where I think psilocybin can really help people, magic mushrooms, to help them dive deep into and reprocess, reorganize the relationship with those experiences that they've had.
For as strong as the human mind is and its infinite wisdom, it's a very delicate piece of equipment for the rest of your body. Anything bothers the brain, you're gonna sit on it. You're gonna think about it. And based on how you are as a person, it's how you think about it. Whether you respond in anger, sorrow, happiness, joy, gratitude, all your past experiences lead up to a certain point, which is now, and they describe how you let these small things affect your life. It's very hard, given past experiences growing up and everything being so routine, for you to switch up how you react to those things. You have to be deeply, deeply mindful. You have to think. You have to think hard. And if we stuck in the 9 to 5 grind every day, we barely thinking, dog, until we get out of work probably. And after that, we're like, how did I get here?
I don't think anybody could have said it better. And it breaks my heart because we're born with this infinite intelligence. It's always in us. And that's where intuition comes from. If you're ever doing something and you're thinking about a problem real hard and you can't find the answer, and then you just stop forgetting it and the answer comes to you, that's your super consciousness. That's your higher self talking with you. And most people are disconnected from that. And so we try to solve issues from this conscious mind, and it creates a lot of frustration because we're accessing a fraction of our intelligence. And most people are stuck in the matrix. They're on autopilot. They're zombies to their life, day in, day out, day in, day out. They do the same thing every single day and wanting something different, expecting something to change. And that's insanity.
Yeah,
And
yeah, that is.
our life is surrounded by programming, the social media, the news, uh, other people's opinions, and the conversations. Most of the conversations that people have in the workplace is surface level conversations, not these type of conversations, right? It's survival conversations.
Imagine if we did open up to just everybody at work. That'd be insane. That'd be crazy. Everybody would understand each other so deeply to the point where if somebody did mess up or if somebody did make a mistake, everybody would be understanding. Because, uh, Jimothy had a tough upbringing growing up, and this is how he responds to the situations, and he's trying to work on it, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But most people just see surface level, oh, you're angry, control yourself. Get a grip. Be better. That's tough. That's real tough.
Yeah. I and we have to go inward first because we can't give something to someone else that we haven't given to ourselves first, you know? So, and when I see other people triggered, like I try to lean in with compassion, empathy, understanding most of the time. And if I'm, again, taking care of myself, it's easier for me to do that for other people. If I'm not taking care of myself, then be I can become magnetized to their negative vibrations. And then all of a sudden I'm pissed off. And if I'm pissed off, now it's, this spider web effect where I'm pissed off and then my wife is feeling the energy of me and she's pissed off and then she goes out into the world and pisses someone else off and I'm pissing. And this is how like the I said like just there. This is how the world shifts to more of a survival, conflict based society.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to upgrade the heartbeat of society, we need to become that example first. Michael Jackson said it great. If you want to create change, look in the mirror. I don't know exactly how the song goes, but
Smooth Criminal, Beat It, Rock With You all
be the
night.
man in the mirror. Something like that. That
I'm
one.
looking at the man in the
Man in the
mirror.
mirror.
I'm
If
looking
you want to make a
to
change, if you want to make the world a better
better
place,
place. Yeah, take a look at yourself and make
yourself
that
and make
change.
a Yep.
Yeah. I love Michael Jackson. Too bad he's gone. What a
Yeah.
messiah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Are we ready for the Reddit portion? Or do you have something to add
Probably.
on, baby girl?
No, any other questions you have with the topic? Like anything you think the viewers or listeners will want to know?
It doesn't happen in a day. It's hard to change who you are at the root. It's hard to believe starting from day one when you were born to how you are now, you've changed so much already. Imagine what you can do in just a couple of months. Give yourself time. If you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, you still have so much more life ahead of you. There's not any change you can't make. Really dig deep is what I'm saying.
Give yourself grace. It's okay.
Well, the reason I say if we get to the Reddit portion, there's 3 different little posts that I want to go on.
Let's do this. Reddit time.
Reddit time. This one comes from Dr. Kubold 1990. I bet I know what year they're born. r/BBT. I hate how easily small things ruin my day. My very important person just texted me, love ya, instead of I love you. And now I'm freaking out and my day is ruined because I don't know what it could mean and why he texted me differently. Why did he text me differently? It makes me feel like he's going to leave me. And now he isn't going to reply to me for God knows when, and I have to curl up in a ball and hope he never even comes back. I'm desperate. I hate this feeling. Why did he text me differently? I'd only text like that if I was mad. I probably messed up as per usual. He's mad at me and he'll probably leave me. I hate this. I'm so scared of losing him.
Is there a question at the end?
I think this was just more of a venting. I hate how
Venting.
easily small things ruin my day. And something of this manner just set them off.
Yeah. I hate how the small things ruin my day shows me that they're resisting their emotions. I hate. Anytime you say that, you're saying I hate a part of myself, the part that gets triggered from small things. If someone that you love said that, would you say I hate the fact that you do that? If you do, it's an indication that you're doing it to yourself. But most people would be like, no. Like, let me understand, let me hear, let me hold space for you so you can explain yourself. That would be the first step that I would say is become mindful of the words and the judgment you have towards yourself. The second thing is this person sounds like they're falling into catastrophizing, thinking the worst case scenario without any evidence to back it up. Right?
Yeah,
The I was not put in.
I I find that I do this sometimes too, where if I'm in a situation, I'll think the most negative outcome so that if it does happen, I wasn't surprised.
How
But
often does
if
it happen?
pretty frequently, I'd say it's something I also need to work on
No, the
where,
negative thing happening, that like the worst case scenario. How often does the worst
dude,
case scenario
so
happen?
rare. I want to say one times out of 10. And that's the thing is that's just survival mode, dude. That is purely survival mode. That's your brain and your body not knowing where it's at, still thinking it's in the Mesozoic period, trying to hunt for food. That's the part that's still trying to survive. It I can imagine while we're at the gym, the body has no idea that we're there at the gym. It thinks we're fighting for our fucking life. I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's also the situations where, let's say you're doing something and it's something important, something you're expecting an important answer from it. You think the most negative way so that whatever outcome does happen, you won't be too disappointed. But in that sense, you're never ever giving yourself the benefit of the doubt.
Right. Exactly. And this individual, he's spending a lot of his time, a lot of his life worrying about something that probably won't happen. And he's also holding a survival state, a beta wave frequency, brainwave frequency of stress. He's creating a lot of cortisol. He's creating dis-ease inside his body. And he's holding a pair of lens or a view of the world where the worst case of the worst case scenario is going to happen. And then on top of that, there's personalization, taking things personally, dis, despite like no, again, no indicate or no evidence to support the conclusion, right? It's I must have done something wrong. And that shows that more than likely he was raised by someone that said no all the time, or some sort of mental, physical neglect, abuse. Maybe not that deep, but things in his past that he hasn't processed or understood. So I would, any, should I give some advice here? If I was working with a client that was experiencing catastrophizing, thinking the worst case scenario, or taking things personally, I would help them and guide them to become mindful, become aware of your thoughts, your emotions, and the behaviors that come after that. And then notice the possible thinking traps that you're falling into, whether it's catastrophizing or personalization. And once you do that, begin to ask yourself questions about it. Kind of challenge those thought patterns with curiosity, not judgment. Is there evidence to support my conclusion? What's the pros and cons to this? Is this, if the worst case scenario were to happen, how would I deal with it? Have I dealt with it before? And then if someone I love or care about is going through the same thing, how would I show support? And this will give someone a lot of information and then create the opposite. How many different perspectives or possibilities of this situation are possible? Maybe they're driving and they're not supposed to be texting and they texted love you. Maybe, they didn't have much time. I don't know. Maybe they typed in I love you and autocorrect accidentally did it.
Very face value things.
Right. Maybe a family member got sick. I
Yeah,
don't
maybe
know.
they're not doing
Anything.
too well. Maybe it has
Right.
nothing to do with you.
Exactly. And so often we can seclude ourselves from the world and fall into our old thinking patterns, and it's going to shape our reality. It has nothing to do with the true self. It has everything to do with the programming that has been instilled into you. So that's my
Truer
advice.
words have never been said.
No, 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 no.
This is another one from r/mindfulness. Oh, we should join the subreddit.
I probably will.
Unfortunately, the user is deleted. If they
Is
are
that his name?
listening right, no, that he's just gone. I don't know. This was posted 3 years ago. How to stop a single event from ruining your day. had some problems at work and I can't stop thinking about it. I've always had an issue with letting a single little thing get in my head, and I end up making a million scenarios as to why it's the worst thing ever. It's truly crippling. I tried to meditate, but after 2 minutes, I get this intense anxiety and I cannot focus. Any advice?
Yes. So there's a couple things. If you're someone that meditates and after 2 minutes you get high anxiety, meditation isn't about quieting the mind all the time. It's about becoming aware of the thoughts and emotions you're having. You're allowing yourself to surface this anxiety and you can become aware of how it shows up in your body. What you can do is you can take a hand and place it on the place where you're feeling the strong emotion and just be with it. Just connect with it. Just hold space. And by naturally doing that, what you'll notice is that emotions will surface anger, frustration. Try to shift away from the thinking mind and just focus on the felt sense of the body. And then from there, you can ask the anxiety, what is it you most need from me right now? And that need will surface, and then you can provide that need to yourself. That would be that part. The other part, what was the headline of it? What was the first part?
The headline, how to stop a single event from ruining your day.
So, how to stop a single event. So, if you're someone that struggles with single events affecting you, triggers, whatever it may be, oftentimes we wait until the trigger happens to practice mindfulness or practice, managing strong emotions. But it's almost too late. Imagine if you're playing football and you don't practice all week and then you expect to play well on game day. Good
Yeah.
luck.
Yeah, good luck for sure.
Good luck. Same exact thing in life is you're more than likely not practicing mindfulness when things are calm. You're taking those calm times, those quiet times for granted, and you are probably going on social media or watching TV or doing different things and just letting your subconscious and your conscious mind vegetate. And then all of a sudden, you're out in the real world, you get triggered, and you wonder why you can't manage your emotions or become aware of them and how they're affecting you because you didn't practice mindfulness when things were calm. My suggestion is take a minute of your life every morning before you get up and sit on the end of the bed and just feel your body. Just focus on feeling. Notice the energy in your body. Notice the however feeling. Notice the anxiety that you wake up every day or the depression you wake up or the anger. Just notice that. That's what I would do.
I like the fact that they're still trying to meditate. It's something I still need to do and I don't do at all. And the fact that the anxiety comes up 2 minutes in shows that there is a lot that there is to deal with. So I'd say try and pick at it one thing at a time. Focus on the thing that's bothered you the most recently, and then just keep going back in time. And you eventually you find the root cause of it all. And that unfortunately is the hardest one to try and help. Is the very, very root cause of it all.
I actually think it's the easiest.
You think is the easiest?
Mm-hmm.
How so?
Because that's game day and you've been practicing all the way up till game day. So you've built this confidence of showing up for yourself. And so once you find the root of it, oh yeah, my dad did this and it, there was this neglect and it made me feel unloved, unheard, unwanted. And I was able to show up for myself so many times before that it's become natural and easy for me to be like, wow, it's this light bulb moment. It's this epiphany. And that is when your perspective changes. That's when the release of the energy no longer controls you in life anymore.
The way I see our lives is more like a tree. The roots are always the strongest, and they're the hardest to rip out of the ground. If you are rooted into how you are today, and based on how you react to things, how you let small things ruin your day, I feel that going to those roots are going to be very hard to rip out because that's your life. That's your life, especially if you're going into these things when you're 30 or 40. I feel as if though the root made the tree and it made all these different little branches
Mm-hmm.
that it's easy to go and pick out a branch and keep dissecting the tree until you get to the roots, and that's the hardest part to rip out because it's so ingrained to how you are. And I think there is two ways this could go out. It could be that a lot of people struggle with their roots, and it could be that a lot of people find it easier to deal with their roots. It really just depends on the person, and you shouldn't judge yourself any harsher if you can't deal with your roots as well as like other people would, I guess.
So what you're talking about is two different perspectives. It's hard to deal with healing myself, or I love to understand and heal myself. It's two different. It does what navigating the root cause of things is not what's difficult. It's the perspective that we hold when we view navigating difficult things. It's thinking that it's hard that makes it hard. It's thinking that it's easy that makes it easy. It's the belief of it, because we're using our past experiences to predict our future. If you want a different future, you have to acknowledge that, okay, my past is my past. That is not the person I'm going to be moving forward. I am changing my perspective. I'm upgrading my view on life right now. And through that, what you realize is that it was always there. It's just these masks that have been placed on you your entire life. It's a fucking character. Your life is a character. You're an eternal being temporarily having a human experience. But
Mm-hmm.
so many people think they're a human being that is just confined to, the third dimension, to the physical life or physical, yeah, the physical things in life. And that's where they're stuck in the matrix. They're stuck in this fight or flight survival mode. It's not until we go out into nature and turn off our phone for a week that we feel peace. Why is that? It's just perspective.
Imagine if the Matrix movie did not come out. I don't know what
Yeah,
word you would use.
I know. I'd call it, I don't know.
And then
But
the last
but I
post.
also,
Ooh. Oh, you go for
before
it.
we
Go for
move
it.
on, I also get it because I've been there. Like, I get that it can feel difficult to go through this stuff because it's new, because it's uncomfortable. That's why, because we've never been there before. We've never processed these things. In my experience with my life, once you let go and you surrender to what is, what's showing up, and stop fighting it, stop trying to control things that are outside of your control. Stop trying to fight the anxiety. Stop trying to fight the depression. Stop trying to fight life. You'll realize that life is such a fucking beautiful place.
Yeah, I agree with all that. Life is truly beautiful. We're lucky to be born. I've said this before already, so
Say it again.
we're lucky to be born. And this last post is less of a I guess question and more of a statement. And it's from r/mindfulness. The user is Queen of Depression. And the title is Please Don't Let One Small Thing Ruin Your Day. I know the user sounded like they were going to say something like negative, but it's the opposite. You will always see posts that claim things like, did you have a bad day or just 20 minutes that really sucked? This advice is true and you need to realize it. I come from a pretty mentally abusive home, and this one lesson saved me so many days. Yes, you got a flat tire. Does that mean you should have suddenly called off work on that project you have been working on? No. Yes, your spouse called and yelled at you about something you messed up on. Does that mean you should skip out on your goals? No. Keep moving forward, friends, and days become brighter if you stay mindful.
Hmm.
Thank you, Queen of Depression.
Yeah, I was shaking my head when you said the name because I was like, man, she's made that an identity of hers, Queen of Depression. Then she shows up with some loving kindness. And it
Maybe it's
just
the
goes to
queen
show
of
that things are
how to deal with depression.
yeah. It shows that if you want to heal, you will. If you want to live a good life and a peaceful life, a flowing life, you will. You will.
I, I do like the idea of the last hour was just terrible, but I still got 23 hours left.
I like
I
that.
love that. I love that mentality. I think you taught me that too.
Yeah. It's letting go, man. Stop trying to swim against the damn current of life. When a storm shows up, a storm fucking shows up. There is nothing you can do about it. So why take our mental energy and our life and fight it and wish it was different? There's nothing we can do about our past except accept it.
That was beautiful. That was a good liner. That was a good one-liner.
Accept it. Yeah.
Post that on r/girlies.
Really? Yeah. I know I'm on this like not teaching, but it just breaks my heart, man. I that's the biggest thing. But it's also what we're born to do as well is like learn the lessons of life. And I can't force other people to learn their lessons of life. I can just expand and hopefully expand their awareness and drop some seeds of knowledge that sit there until they're ready to have it grow and be that example. But
I think
doing
that
it not for them, but for myself, being that example for myself because I want to learn the damn lessons of life. I want to upgrade to enlightenment, to ascension, to move on from the not not to move on from the third dimension to the fourth, fifth, sixth, whatever, but to truly flow with my life and enjoy the journey just as much as the destination.
I think that would be a good thing to focus on during the mindful minute.
Mindful minute.
Mindful minute. What do you think people should focus on mainly about this?
I'd say just connect with the felt sense of the body. With whatever shows up, just really try to become aware of the felt sense of the body. And if your mind wanders, it's okay. Once you notice it, even if you notice judgment, just remind yourself it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm here. And come back to the felt sense of your body. If you need direction, I would focus on your breathing.
All right. Mindful minute starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And time. Hey, hey, you're being too mindful. Quit it.
You're being too mindful. Anything you found?
I'm a strong person mentally, but I can also sit down and cry if I need to.
I think that is a strength because it's harder to embrace and express emotion, especially in the world we live in today, than it is to avoid it. So it actually is
Yeah,
courage and strength to lean in and express those emotions.
I agree. Do you have anything else you would like to add, baby? What did you think? What did you think?
I can feel the energy in my body, like the aura. I can feel it right now.
The aura?
Yeah, all the energy flowing through my body.
Are
I
you
can
sure
feel
you
it.
don't need to shit?
No, I already did that today.
Yeah, I need to go shit actually soon. Pretty soon, within the next 10 minutes, or else I'm gonna explode.
I would just like to say you're exactly where you need to be whether you believe it or not. You're exactly where you need to be whether you believe it or not. Once you embrace that and you allow yourself to become curious of why you're in the situation you are, why you have the feelings you do, that's when you really get to upgrade your life and you really get to begin to remove those masks and change your thoughts, your emotions, and your belief systems. I have worked with clients that could not say I love you to themselves at all, and have gotten them, and they've chosen for themselves to get to a point where they can say I love you, I'm proud of you, I'm so excited, I'm confident, I believe in myself. If they can do it, you can do it. You're not alone.
The best time to have started anything was yesterday and any day before that. The second best time is right now.
And you just practice mindfulness for a minute. You should be
I know.
really
Great
proud of
job. Good
yourself.
job. You
You
stuck
could have
around. You
just
stuck
skipped
around.
it.
Huh?
You could have ended the
You could have ended
podcast.
the video. You could have ended the video. I bet a lot of you did, but that's okay. I don't care.
Yeah, it's okay. And you chose to stay and do it. Super fucking proud of you. Big
Good
time. I'm giving
job.
you a big old hug.
I'm giving you
Yeah.
a big, big mental hug and a foot rub. I'm just kidding. I can't do it. Thank you for watching today's episode. If you like what you see, give us a follow, give us a like, and we post weekly, so be ready for the next episode.
Yes. Love you guys. Peace.
Bye.